Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to do all of the books on my physical TBR. I thought it'd be interesting to do this at the beginning of the year because in my bullet journal I keep track of all the books that I start with, and then I kind of see how many of the books that I started the year with do I read. I did do this video I think in August or July, and my TBR shelf has changed quite a bit. All of my physical books that I have not read yet are all on this shelf above me, other than the stack I have off to the side, which is my January TBR, which I already picked. So without further ado, let's get started. I'm going to grab all these books down and then we'll go through them. Okay, so I have pulled down all of the books and let's go through them. Let's start with my January TBR. I have 7 books that I picked for my January TBR, and here they are. This is The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. This is the book I am currently reading. I'm 100 pages into it, and this is definitely a fast read so far, and I'm really enjoying it. I think this is my mom's book, but then when I started reading it, it felt like it had never been read before, so I have to ask my mom if this is actually hers or if it's a book that I bought and I just don't remember. The next book is Just Mercy. This is one that I got from the Go Big Read program at my university. This is one that was on my TBR a couple times in 2023, and I will be reading this book this month, so in January. So I think I'm going to pick up this one next because I need to get this off my TBR. I need to stop being intimidated to read it. The next book on my list is another one of my mom's books. It's State of Terror. This is a book that has been on my shelf for quite a while. I want to read it and return it to her. My goal also for this year is to read the books on borrowed a little bit more quickly. The next book is Plato and a Platypus Walk into a Bar, Understanding Philosophy Through Jokes. This is a book that I got from my boyfriend, and I'm going to return it to him after I'm done. The next book is Touching Spirit Bear. This is a book that I got I picked up for free off of a giveaway table at my work, and I'm going to read it and then put it in a little free library. Then I have A Fall of Marigolds. This is one of my favorite books of all time. I've read it a couple of times. I got this as a gift either for Christmas 2022 or my birthday last year, and I'm very excited to reread this month, hopefully. And then the last book on my January TBR is a heavy one. It's The Secret History of World War II. This is a book that I bought in college to use part of it for a project, and then I didn't read the rest of it, so I'm really excited to finally read all of it. And I think I have a really good mix of fiction and nonfiction on my TBR this month. Now, let's go through all the rest of the books that I have on my physical TBR. And I am actually starting this year with less books on my physical TBR shelf than I did in 2023, which is really exciting. It means I am reading the books that I have. So these are in no particular order at all. I'm just going to grab one off the shelf, tell you a little bit about it, why I have it, and then move on to the next one. This one is The Cartographers. This is a book I borrowed from my boyfriend's mom. She thought it was really good, and so she borrowed it to me. Then I have The Death and Life of the Great Lakes. This is another one of the Go Big Read books that I got while I was in university. I'm hoping to get to this one this year as well because it has been on my TBR shelf since 2018. The next book is also one that was borrowed to me by my boyfriend's mom. It's Paper Towns. I'm pretty sure I read this book when I was younger, but good books are always worth a reread. The next book is a newer book on my shelf. I bought this in December. It's Caraval. I heard a lot about this book in this series, and I am very excited to read it. I really enjoy fantasy, romantasy, that type of story, and I heard this is a really fast read. The next book I picked up off of a whim because it was buy one, get one 50% off at Barnes & Noble, and I was buying one for someone else, and it is The Book Eaters, so I definitely fell into the trap of a little bit of impulse buying, but it looks really interesting, and the concept is so different than any other book that I've encountered before. The next book is a book that I hope to get to in January as well. It is the second book in the Crescent City series. It's House of Sky and Breath. I read the first one in December and absolutely loved it. The third book comes out at the very end of January, so I'm hoping to read this in January, and I'm going to pick up the third book in February. And then I have The Dictionary Wars. This is one I picked up at a local bookshop. It was on sale, and it is a book that just sounded really interesting. It's nonfiction. It also has a really nice textured cover, and this has been on my bookshelf for over a year. The next book is a book I picked up at a used bookstore. It's Hidden Figures. I did watch the movie of this when it came out, but books are always better than the movie, so I'm excited to read it and enjoy the story again in a different format. The next book is a blind date with a book. This one has also been on my shelf for over a year. This is a book that I want to open this year when I get down to quite a few books on my TBR. So I want to read a lot of the books on my TBR before I enjoy this book. And I think I might have a prompt in there that's like blindly pick a book, and maybe we'll pick this one, but I'm very interested to finally open this and read it and enjoy the surprise. The next one is a book that I was gifted, I believe, by my boyfriend's mom. It is The True Love Bookshop. She said it was a very cute, light read, so that one will be fun to throw in, especially if I'm reading some heavier nonfiction books. The next book has been on my bookshelf for over a year. I picked this up at a used bookstore, At the Water's Edge by Sarah Gruen. I enjoy Sarah Gruen's books, and this is one that has been on my bookshelf for way too long, and I really need to read it. The next book is Tom Lake. This is another borrowed book from my boyfriend's mom. She has the best book recommendations, and she borrowed this book to my mom, and my mom said that I would really enjoy it as well, so I'm going to read it before I return it to her. And I started seeing this book everywhere after she borrowed it to me. The next book is The Zookeeper's Wife. This book I picked up at the same time I picked up The Hour I First Believed, which I did read last year out of my grandma's basement from a box of books she was giving away in 2020, so I need to read this year and get it off my shelf. A book that I inherited from my parents. I think it just ended up on my bookshelves, and then I kind of moved with it. I'm like, I've never read it. Is Under the Lilacs by Louisa May Alcott, a very famous author. So this one should be a quick read, and I should read it this year. That's what I'm going to say about all my books. I should read all of my books this year. The next one is Golden Girl. I believe this was also a gift from my boyfriend's mom. She went to this giant book sale where every book was $1, and I think that's where she got this one. So, and I also like it. It's a nice floppy paperback. Those are really nice and like cozy to read. So this one should be fun. I know nothing about that book. Here's a book that has been on my bookshelf for years and years and years. I'm pretty sure I got this as like my free book from my library reading program when I was a middle schooler, I think. It's The Mysterious Benedict Society and the Perilous Journey. I really should read this so then it can move off of the TBR shelf and up to my children's book shelf. The next book is another borrowed book. It's Educated by Tara Westover. This is one that my mom read and she said it was kind of interesting and that I might enjoy it. It's one that she picked up for like $1 that our local library was getting rid of. I have another nonfiction book, Me to We. This is one I got as a gift, I think my senior year of college, from one of my supervisors. It's a book that really inspired him and he really wanted all of us to have it and read it. I have read part of it, but I never read the whole thing. So this is one that I will hopefully get to this year as well. This is Code Talker. It's a book I picked up for free from the free table at my school, like giveaway table, and another book that I am going to read and then pass along to a little free library. That's a book that I have read before. I read it in high school, absolutely loved it, and I would just want to reread it. The next book I also picked up for free off of the free table. Those dang free tables are my kryptonite because I'm not spending money on books and then I get to read them, which is why a lot of these books are going to get passed along to another little free library. Is The Call of the Wild. I've never read this book and I thought this is one that I should have read in my arsenal. The next book is Sad Cypress. This is one I actually started reading a little bit this summer. I think I got like 30 pages in, not even. I got 12 pages in and I just wasn't getting into it. It's one that I kind of chucked in my beach bag to take on vacation. And I just wasn't connecting with the story or the plot, so I picked up some different books and I definitely will get to this one this year. Another book that I picked up for free is The Lightning Thief, another book that people talk about all the time that I've never read, so I want to read it and experience that magic that everyone connects with this book. Another book that I picked up off of the free table is Flipped. I have known absolutely nothing about this and I have no idea why I picked up this book, but it should be a pretty quick read when I do pick it up. Down to the last couple of books. The next book is another one I picked up at a used bookstore. It is Traveling to Infinity, the true story behind the theory of everything. I love physics, and so a book about Stephen Hawking's life seems very, very interesting to me. Another middle grade book is King and the Dragonflies. This was a book on a list for a class that I took last year for my master's program, and my group ended up picking a different book to read, but this one also seemed interesting, so I also purchased this one as well, and I just have not gotten around to reading it yet, but it looks like a really cool, interesting, intriguing story, so there's that one. And then I think this is my last one. The last one that I have is the autobiography of Eleanor Roosevelt. I did also pick this up at a used bookstore. This is a very dense book. Like, this book is heavy, and Eleanor Roosevelt is someone whose life seems very interesting to me, and I wanted to read more about it, so that's why I picked that one up. So that is all of the books on my physical TBR for January 2024. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Bye.